Why not?
Filming, you don't mind being in the background, do you? Okay. No, you're not.
No. So our community-owned pub, we're celebrating our 10th birthday. There will be stalls outside here, and then there'll be a birthday cake here, special, very special birthday cake, etc., etc. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the story began in 2012 when. Well, okay, look at what. Okay, I'm going to tell the story of the pub, all right? They're going to edit it.
Over to Chris Lane, the very first chair of the Antwerp Arms Association, 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah, thanks. Can you hear me okay? Very good. Yeah. The thing is that we're going to be 10 years trading, and 10 years trading is fantastic. But the pub's never been a better place ever.
I first came here in the late 60s as a resident, and I found out by default around about the same time as the riots, 2011 riots. And I was called back by Haringey to work on the street as a town centre manager because the street was in desolation. Terrible what had happened with the riots. And I found out through doing that sort of work what actually was going on in the area, especially this pub. I found out that the plan was to sell it. So, as I was a regular, I thought I must take that up.
I remember standing outside till 11 November. And the thing is, so I was looking through the window and it was a still new one, and see what the beers are on. And my son said, "Why are you upset, Dad?" I said, "Because the pub's going, it's going to end." And he said, "Dad, the people must save the pub. You can't let the pub go. The pub must be saved." And I said, "Well, how do you do that? We've never done it before."
Well, one of my neighbours, Chris Lane, had got together something called an asset of community value, which I think basically keeps an asset in the community and gives you 6 months to get a plan together. And our plan was to become a community benefit society. And we held a public meeting which had about 100 people come along to it. And we had the Plunkett Foundation there, and they said, this is what is happening to pubs in the countryside. People are coming together and they're buying their local pub. So I just said, who wants to save the pub? Everyone went, yes. I don't know why I said it, but I said, who wants to buy the pub? And there was just this like, woo! And that was the beginning. That night we set up a management committee and off we went for the next 3 years.
Martin, pull!
Here, I got a girlfriend for you. Right. I'm going to sit in front of it. This is very important. So, since we opened the pub in 2015, this is our motto, or whatever you want to call it.
When I was town centre manager, one of the things I noticed was being told by the police to go out on the street and pick up loads of bricks and rocks that had been stashed for fighting on Saturday games. I won't tell you who the teams were, but I remember that there was worries in those days, and I remember being subjected once or twice from people outside being rude and aggressive.
I live through the back, so I used to come with my little pram with my baby in it, walk through and come past this pub. But I'd always be on this side of the road because it wasn't a very friendly pub back in the day. So yeah, I did know it, but I never went. I was never felt welcome to go in it at that point. No.
It wasn't very popular at the time. There were sort of like blackout curtains at the windows, and You always got looked at weirdly when you went in there, but we knew that it had huge potential and that there is very little else in this area that the community can have as a meeting and focal point.
A special thing happened 10 years ago, and this place has become a meeting place for lovers of beer, lovers of vinyl, lovers of live music, lovers of art, lovers of craft. But it's not just lovers of poetry, but it's not just a meeting place. It's become like a hub of community spirit, and it's become a hub of creativity. And basically, to all the people, the volunteers, the staff team, brilliant staff team, thank you very much. Most importantly, to our regulars, and we've never forgotten our regulars, okay? So basically, you've made this, it was a meeting place, but now you've turned the meeting place into a home. So thank you for that.
We set the share price at £50, 1 share, 1 vote. We wanted as many local people to be able to buy a share and feel that they had a stake in it. Through the Social Investment Bank, we got a grant, which is amazing. I don't know if you could get it now. It was hard though, because we had to hit a certain target before the money could be drawn down. Some people bought 1 share, some people bought more, but everybody felt involved. And I think that's one of the most beautiful stories of the pub, is that people bought shares for their granddads who drunk here, and they bought shares for their dad who was a Spurs fan, and they were a kid remembering sitting on a wall drinking a ginger beer with a bag of crisps. Someone came over from Australia whose mum had been a cleaner here. So all of those people had passed through it at one time or another, and they felt it was important that it stayed open.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Where's the community owned on this? I thought we agreed on that.
Look, owned for and by the community.
Okay, sorry, okay.
Martin, need more glasses.
Okay, now we're going across the park.
You got it?
Hurry.
Going to be at least 15, 16.
Ideally what we'd like is some finger posts pointing the way, you know, heritage style finger posts pointing the way to the pub.
Well, we have some here. This, what's this again? Come and say hello. Come on, Nick, quick. Hold the banner. Quick, before she comes back.
The pub was full. We had our laptop. People were coming to bid money. We had a little board going.
It was really nerve-wracking. I was working in a secondary school at the time, and the way Microgenius worked was you had a date by which all of your pledges at your target amount had to be in. It was something like 12 noon. And I was under the desk at my school. I couldn't actually watch the screen because we had like a £13,000 gap to close. I kid you not, 2 minutes before the button was pressed, that amount came in, the exact amount that we needed.
A beautiful person came along and said, "Here's the money."
I banged my head on the desk. All of the teachers were going hysterical. And it came, I believe, from one family in memory of their dad. And I spoke to them sometime afterwards. They wanted to remain anonymous, but they basically said the pub had been a very, very important place for him growing up around here. And they'd all decided that whatever the gap was, thank God it wasn't anymore, they would close it in his memory. And as you go into the pub, there are lots of small gold plaques around the top of the bar. And most of those plaques were for donations, pledges for over £1,000. You got a gold plaque. But they are in memory of someone who drank here. A lot of good people came in and made it happen. I remember when we were given the keys and there were 6 of us, and we looked at each other and we realised that none of us had ever run a pub. I mean, how scary is that? And that was the day we decided we were going to have to employ a manager, because we didn't know how to change a barrel. We knew how to save the pub. We knew how to raise the funds, but we didn't know how to run a pub. And from there on, it was scary. So I don't know that the scary bit was buying it. The scary bit has running it and keeping it going.
There are 3 models for your community pub. There's the tenanted model, there's the do-it-yourself model, or there's a bit of both. We've sort of got it right now, but it took us 6 or 7 years to decide to move away from a sort of self-managed approach, which is what we started with. You need to really think about how you operate it and what makes you different, because the reason why your pub closed in the first place was because of many reasons, and you need to address those. It's no point being mediocre or you'll just fail again. Because of the work that the committee had to do, and we were all volunteers, we moved to a sort of more fully tenanted arrangement. So Andy, for a redemption, he employs all the staff, he buys all the stock and all of that. Whereas before we were having to do that, and that can be quite stressful for a bunch of volunteer committee members.
So our role really is operating the pub on a commercial basis, but supporting all the work that the Antwerp Arms Association does. So the rent that we pay to the pub supports the community lunch that they do on Tuesday, and a number of the other community initiatives that are done as well. There's very much different audiences to this pub. It's not the same core audience that you're getting in, day out. You need the football. Without the football, it becomes very difficult to survive. But I think being able to then have the pub available the rest of the week. Wednesday night we've got a bunch of Irish musicians come in and just play. Anyone can come and join them. Thursday night we do a quiz. Tuesday night we'll have the poets in doing poetry readings and stuff. So we try and kind of get any kind of group that wants to try and use the pub for any kind of activity. We kind of welcome them.
And as it says on the logo, this is the logo of the Plunkett Foundation. We are, you get it? We are more than a pub.
In the Antwerp, there's a number of characters who will be in here regularly, who you'll hear, who you'll see. And I think a community pub is about, just welcoming everyone and everyone feeling comfortable as well.
Sorry, are you listening to my story?
You ready?
My name is Martin Lahim.
Yeah.
Antwerp Arms Association Management Committee. You asked me a question. Okay, so everything moved very quick. And here we are all those years later, and we're 10 years, celebrating 10 years. Most importantly is, we've been doing our community luncheons 9 years. 2016, we began collecting the food from the Felix project. Took it back here, and then it was cooked in the kitchen.
We started off maybe with 10 people, feeding 10 people. And now, 2016 to now, we're feeding over 100 people a week.
So the whole idea is people come, they dine in the pub. They have a conversation, so they're our guests. So we collect the food from the Feeders Project, we take it back here, the amazing volunteers come and prepare it. It's all cooked fresh. So this is surplus food that would normally have gone to landfill or gone, it wouldn't go where it is now, but we actually are a cooking food bank. So in other words, what we get, we cook. Next question. So now they'll have to put all this together. So
we've got, a network of about 40 odd regular volunteers, and it sort of gives them a focal point. There's a lot of issues of isolation and loneliness, particularly in this area where we've got an ageing population.
Even when I'm crawling, I want to cook. I just love cooking. I love to feed people and to make them happy and enjoy the food. So at the Antwerp, that's what I used to do as a volunteer. I used to push out lovely meals.
Someone, her name Ashley, she was involved here with the pub, one of the main people. And she said to me, do you like cooking? I said, I enjoy cooking and it's my hobby. She said, well, we need volunteer in the pub. And we start from then. That was 5 years ago. Never in my life worked in a kitchen for anything establishment. Mainly was engineering and management in manufacturing for nearly 44 years. But as soon as I retired, I joined the food bank first, then I joined the work, then I joined here, and now I'm a full-time volunteer every day.
And we think about those people who can't afford a meal, and they can come in and they can eat. It's a blessing. I feel happy to know that.
I go home completely knackered. I don't move for half an hour after I sit down. But the sensation inside and the feeling inside is like, oh, I don't think I can, I'm the top of the world. Honestly, that's true.
Every Tuesday, I look forward to come out. Even sometimes when I'm not very well, you know what? I get somebody to come and pick me up, and that shows me that they love me. If you don't want somebody around, you wouldn't put effort to come and collect. They come and collect me. It's as if I'm wanted and I feel good. It's like a home. When you come in and sit, it's just like a essence of warmth and welcome.
I came down one day for a party and I liked it so much, I was like, yep, I'm going to buy some shares in this because I like it. Then I started volunteering here and basically got onto the committee, and I think I've been here ever since, like various positions and stuff. But my main role here is like entertainment. So I do the DJ nights and the live band nights and South stuff.
The Spins and Knits is a night where Nick Alloway, the wonderful Nick Alloway, we all go around to charity shops, fly all the vinyl. So you can bring your vinyls, 7 inches, 12 inches, albums, and you can donate them, or you can just bring them in and play them and sit and listen to it while having a drink. And then we're sat in the corner doing our little crocheting and stuff. And what's nice is that people, once they know you're doing something, they all want to donate something. So we had sewing machine, the amount of knit needles we got donated, the amount of wool that we got donated. So anybody can turn up if they want to do knits and they haven't got to worry about having needles or wool because we've got everything.
It's like a family, more than a family in fact. People concerned about each other. If someone doesn't turn up, oh, what's happened to him or her? And you see what's happened to them. Maybe they are falling, maybe they are not well, maybe on holiday. At least we know what's happened to them. It does give you this connection, in the community. It's a very important, I see it. It gives satisfaction to the volunteer as well, including myself, is to do something to everyone else, not yourself.
Asked me this years ago, oh, would you volunteer? No. Now, I absolutely love it. Never thought I would. I'm just so surprised at myself that I actually get a lot out of it, and it's more satisfaction at achieving a result that makes somebody else happy. And that's a good feeling.
The birthday is you'll see is a great event because it brings everyone together. So that's a time when there's everyone involved with the pub will be there, the local community will be there, people that have been coming to the pub for 20, 30 years will be there.
I'm getting a bit of a lump in my throat, but 45 years ago, maybe longer, this pub was not seen in this way. It had a name as being racist, inhospitable, and that is not the pub that it is today. And it takes time to change that, but I truly believe that that's something we've achieved.
The fact is that we're now standing up on our own feet. That's the big high point. We are now a destination point.
I think that's really what the heart of any community pub, just make sure that the community want to come and use it, because what part of the reason the pub was a failing pub before was probably because it wasn't doing that very well. It wasn't very inclusive. It wasn't attracting a lot of people to the pub.
You know what? If you go to some of the pubs on the High Road, you'll see what I mean. Because some of them clientele. I know they're football fans, but we get the better football fans over this side. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we do.
We all know the pubs are facing a lot of difficult challenges just now. So, I'm conscious that the next couple of years are going to be a tough time for the pub, tough time for the economy. And I think all we need to do is not screw it up, really. So part of it has just been doing little things, just focusing on those elements where they're getting the community involved.
Community pub is not all to do with darts, or it's not all to do with pool or anything like that. It's to do with other things.
It's about people, it's about community, it's about empathy, it's about help, it's about giving, helping, sharing. So that is what we represent.
The community care, because if they didn't care, then this would be a block of flats. And, they didn't want a block of flats. They very much wanted something like this, a central hub that, they could have on their doorstep.
It's just like a family, and to make people, instead of locking in their house and staying in and sad, the Antwerp is somewhere that they can come and enjoy each other's company and have good food and good cake to eat. Yeah, it's a joy to my soul.